And all of a sudden, Howie came in, didn't say a word, pulled out a tin, put it right on my thing, put one finger and just slid it to me and give me a head nod and just walked by. That was the first interaction I ever had with him. And it couldn't have been any more Howie Long. Welcome to Dudes on Dudes. That's Gronk.
And that's the flying squirrel, Jules.
And this is the show where your favorite dudes get to talk about their favorite dudes.
And boy, do we have some dudes for you today,
Who we got,
ladies
Gronk?
and gentlemen.
Who the hell do we got today?
Well,
I'm excited.
I'm a little biased, so I'm going to go with a tight end.
Ooh.
First off, we got George Kittle.
I bet you he has a come out to the weight room song when he goes into the weight room. Like he probably puts on one song, like a wrestling song. Who's next, Rob?
Richard Sherman.
Legion of Boom guy.
The Shermanator.
That AFC Championship game where he tipped it from Crabtree in the last like 30 seconds.
One of the most impressive plays I've ever seen a cornerback make.
That was for
that
the
was
game.
to go to the Super Bowl.
And then who do we cap it off with? I want to go back in history, Rob.
Howie Long,
Wow.
ladies and gentlemen. I think our dads got so turned on from Howie Long's hits.
They made us.
We were created.
I can't wait. We'll break down their games, we'll share some insider stories, and determine what kind of dude each of these dudes really are. Let's get into it, Gronk. Let's go.
Let's go.
Dudes on Dudes is a production of iHeartRadio. Let's get on George Kittle. Rob, what do you got? What's AI saying?
Let's see what AI has today for me. George Kittle. Here we go.
AI.
George Kittle is known for being an exceptional tight end with a combination of dynamic receiving skills and strong blocking ability. He excels in both the passing game and the run game, using his athleticism, speed, and physicality to make plays and create opportunities. Kittle is also recognized for his toughness and versatility, making him a key weapon in the San Francisco 49ers offense.
I agree.
His ability to gain yards after the catch and his effectiveness as a blocker make him one of the most well-rounded and impactful tight ends in the NFL.
Let's start the clock. We already should have. We're 2 minutes in. Yeah, dude. Kittle, he's like the first of this whole Iowa fucking craze tight ends, isn't he? Who else was in there?
Not necessarily. I'm going to kind of throw myself into that category. You want to know why?
You went to Iowa?
No, I didn't go to Iowa, but you want to know why?
Why?
My first 2 years in the NFL,
Yeah.
my tight end coach
Who?
was Brian Ferentz.
Brian Ferentz, offensive coordinator for the Iowa Hawkeyes. I remember Brian Ferentz.
Yeah.
He would always put you up on that board. He was a fun coach.
I love Brian Ferentz. I'll still remember to this day some of the lessons he taught me. And first off, he taught me how to block. He's the one who helped make me the blocker of who I was in the NFL.
Which is very much what
game.
Kittle is.
Exactly, and that's why Kittle is an all-around tight end because they emphasize blocking first, no doubt about it. And on top of it, Brian Ferentz, many times, always told me, just keep being you, man. You're an awesome guy. Keep being you. It's going to get you to places that you would never imagine. So thank you, Coach Ferentz. I'll still remember that to this day. What I loved about Coach Ferentz, he says, when you're nervous, you're ready. And I was nervous coming into this podcast world, and I thought about him again. I thought about him every single game I had, and I was nervous. If you're nervous, you're ready. Thank you, Coach Ferentz.
Do you know what? And it's crazy. What Coach Ferentz basically said to you is probably everything that like Kittle is kind of shoots out on the field. You know, selfless guy, be yourself, which he's a very charismatic dude. When you think of like, he's a funny dude. He's the guy who started Tight End U, which is this huge event, which you get to go to all the time. Mm-hmm. Like he's a character, not just off the field, but he's got that fun, like little kid, like Rob kind of energy, like Gronk energy when he's playing, because you guys both, like when you guys both play, it looks like you guys are having the funnest time ever. You know, like you guys like blocking. He loves blocking. Kittle gets open a lot because of how hard he blocks.
It's the truth, man. And if you're a good blocker in the NFL at the tight end position, you're going to be able to get those easy passes thrown your way. Like that's the reward for blocking in the NFL is the play action passes. When the linebackers step up, the quarterback just dumps it to you after the fake handoff to the running back, and boom, you catch it, 8 yards down the field, and boom, then you just make the safety miss. You can have a 20-yard gain off of a little play action pass and just keep the chains moving. Well, here's the question. Miami University was tight end U back in the day when I was high school. Is Iowa?
Who?
They had freaking Greg Olson, Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow.
Winslow Jr.
Yeah, Winslow Jr.
What did he say? I'm a soldier.
Yeah. I'm a soldier. And he's like that because you want to know why he said it? Because he absolutely leveled like 5 guys on one play.
Yeah.
And then they asked him about that play. And then he goes, I'm a soldier. He's not taking any shit. He's in war. But they had a couple other guys as well that was going to the league that they were sending the backups who were getting drafted.
Greg Olsen.
Fucking
teammate.
I thought I said Greg Olsen.
You know what?
I would never forget Greg Olsen.
You can't. But that was the tight end U when we were growing up.
That was.
Tight end U now really has to be Iowa. And it's because of the start of this whole thing with Kittle. I mean, Kittle, 5th round draft pick, which makes it even more impressive. He's a 5th round guy. He wasn't the biggest dude. He wasn't the strongest dude, but he always fucking blocks his nuts off. He's willing to give his body up. He makes big time plays for his team when they need it on a crucial 3rd down. He makes red area blocks where he's taking his fucking defensive end and driving him in the end zone. Like, he's the guy that you always want to play with. He's that's the kind of, and he's always fun. You could tell he's positive. And he comes from like a Laura family from Iowa.
Wait,
like,
what do you mean, Jules? You can tell he is positive. Like, that's just a well-known fact that he is a positive guy. Whenever you're around George Kittle, like, your aura just lifts up. He's just always looking for the best thing out of anything that happens, you know?
Yeah. He's
like,
very optimistic.
Literally.
He's like optimistic, positive thinker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and honestly, that's the kind of vibes that you gave off when we were in the locker room. There's guys that are hardos. There's guys that are asshole. Like, I was a guy that was like, I had to be in a certain mindset to
asshole.
I had to be an asshole, not an asshole, but like
But you weren't an asshole, but you were like,
okay, I made guys
a hardo.
I was hardo.
But you weren't that. Just a tad bit because you were, like you said, you were making them accountable, and that's what the technique you used to make them accountable.
And that's because I worked so hard, and it took me a long place to get to where I got. So like, that's what I was like. Then there was guys like Kittle and yourself that like, you guys work insanely hard. You do great in the classroom, but you do it with like a smile on your face and you're always happy. Like, there's different guys in the locker room, and that's what I feel when I think of like George Kittle. Like, guy is just like a positive, great dude to have around, especially with, you know, their locker room. They got so many different charismatics, characters there. You're like, it's just a great piece. I think he's a freaking baller.
And going back to Iowa, and about and being tight end U, they also had T.J. Hawkinson come out of Iowa, one of the highest paid tight ends in the game. Noah Fant. How do you say his last name? I don't know. Font. Noah Fant.
Seattle. He's balling.
Yes. He's a great player. He's huge, man. That dude's huge.
Tall.
You got Sam Laporta, the best rookie last year, went to the Pro Bowl, over 800 yards. I'm sure he's going to have over 1,000 yards and 10 plus TDs this year as well. Give the University of Iowa for this decade, you know, to be known as tight end U.
For sure. The story about his dad writing him letters before every game, that's pretty hard hitting. Did your pops ever write you anything?
No, my pops never wrote me anything like that, but he always motivated me, especially growing up. He always told me, hey, if you want to be better than everyone else, if you want to get to the next level, you got to outwork everyone. And my dad's been selling fitness equipment for over 30 years now, so he put a weight room in the basement and said, hey, you want to make it to the pros, buddy? You want to make it? You want to be able to dunk? You want to be able to block? You want to be able to toss guys around? Well, get your ass in the weight room and get stronger now. You know, he wasn't a hard ass about it, but he always led us that way. Hey, get in the basement now. You want to be strong? Get in the basement. You want to whoop some ass? Get in the basement.
That you got to have that. He's got that same, you know, it may be different because he's getting letters and you're eating weights. You know, it's still that dad kind of love. Like, I had mine in a different way. You always know and hear about him and his relationship with his family. He seems like just a fun dude off the field too.
He is a fun
dude.
Have
you ever hung out with him?
I've only hung out with him at Tight End U, and I just met him a couple other times, just really quick. And he's always fun, just so positive. And what I love about him, though, is that we are very similar. That's for sure. We have similar game. He's an all-around tight end, and he's the best all-around tight end in the game right now.
Blocker.
Yes, blocker.
Catcher.
Yes, in the receiving game. What I really love about him is he's a WWE fan, bro. And he's the ultimate WWE fan. Pretty sure he's done a couple things with WWE, I think with WrestleMania. I think his favorite wrestler is like Luca Hana. He has that vibe to go into wrestling after he's done playing. He always be cutting WWE promos.
Yeah,
he's always
good.
Upbeat. I mean,
he's good at those.
He's got great energy. I mean, in order to start National Tight End Day. He started Tight End U while playing. He's got a lot of juice, and that's why people love him. That's why his teammates love him. I mean, I'm sure how many guys do you think he has picked up on his team that are down, that don't feel like playing, but there he is. He's there every day. Hey, guys, let's go. Let's go. Let's have fun. Let's go make some plays. Let's go catch some balls. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. You know, his just aura is to pick guys up around him. That's a guy you want in your locker room. 100%. That's a guy you want on your team, especially at the tight end position, the best position in the game.
I mean,
not biased, you know.
I mean, he was a standout on the TV show Receiver. I mean, that's how big of an aura he has for a tight end. Like, he went on to Receiver and pretty much dominated that show.
Yep.
Not saying, like, statistically this, that, but, like, his story was, like, so fun watching on that. Him and his family, and he's got a crazy sneaker collection. He's a monster.
He is a monster, and it's just, he's like a guy that you want to work out with. When you're working out, sometimes you go into the workout, and you're like, I got to work out.
He's like a James Devlin in the weight room.
Yeah, he is. But then you just start working out with him, and boom, automatically the switch is switched. And
music's
just
loud.
It's like turning the lights on. You just, when you're around him, you hit that switch up and boom, the lights are on.
I bet you he has a come out to the weight room song when he goes into the weight room. Like, he probably puts on one song, like a wrestling song, like a Stone Cold, and like, that's how I bet he starts his fucking workout, because he's so like that.
What I don't like about him, though, is he broke my receiving record. Well, Travis Kelce did too that year, but George Kittle broke my receiving record.
He broke your civil record?
Yeah, I had 1,327 yards that one year. And yeah, he broke that. And plus, he had a 200-plus yard game, which is incredible. As a tight end, that 200-plus yards.
But that's 10 minutes. We got to determine.
Oh, my gosh. Absolute monster.
So where do we put him then? What kind of dude is he?
What kind of dude is he?
A stud, a freak, a dog, a whiz, or a dude's dude? I mean, he's kind of a dude's dude.
I think so.
He's a stud, but like, he's so positive. Like, people don't.
Bro, you understand either. He's a freak, bro. This guy is so strong. Pound for pound in the weight room, he might be the strongest guy on the team.
Yeah, he's got that weird leverage strength.
I think he does, like, deadlifts like 500-plus pounds. From what I hear, I never worked out with him, but
he's mentally, he's got dog in him, but I'm leaning towards dude's dude.
He is a dude's dude. I got to go with that because he's a locker room guy.
Positive
energy.
Calm, cool, collect always.
Always.
I've never seen a bad mic'd up on him.
No, I never have, man.
I've yelled at referees and I've sworn, like, he's just like always like.
I actually envy his energy.
I want his energy.
Oh, wait, time out. Wow, we forgot his pitcher as well. Jules, I blame that on you. I blame that on you, Jules, because you were the veteran with the pitchers on the very first show.
That's my bad.
And that was my first time. I needed to be reminded.
The pitcher is so kid.
You forgot. But there he is, everyone. There he is. That picture just exemplifies him. That explains him totally. Tongue out, having a good old time, smiling with his tongue out. You know how hard that is to do?
Wrestling hair.
It's all greasy. Hasn't showered in a week. Just has dudes all over him from the last practice.
Swaggy sneaker.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Oh, man.
George Kittle. He's
a dude's dude.
He's a dude's dude.
He is. I just on the field, off the field.
Let's get into our next dude.
All right. Who's the next dude?
You have your little AI ready. This guy.
Hold on, Jules. My girlfriend's texting me. You know, I got to answer. I want to be a good dude, okay?
He's a good dude.
I'm a good dude.
Tell Camille I said hello.
Oh, my gosh. Guess what she's doing?
What?
So it's the 10-year anniversary for the Super Bowl that we won versus Seattle Seahawks.
And you know who we're doing right now next?
Oh, my gosh. Who are we doing next?
We're doing Seattle.
Wow. And guess what Camille just texted me?
Richard Sherman.
That she's literally crying right now while practicing because she misses dance so much because they're bringing back the cheerleaders to do a halftime dance routine that they did at the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, Richard Sherman. You're not a back-to-back champ because of us. Sorry, boy. Are you mad about it? Is he mad?
Is
he mad, bro?
He's not mad, bro.
Is he mad, bro?
No, but
is he mad, bro?
What does AI say about our guy?
Allen Iverson. Smart man. He can just read a freaking everything on the internet in a matter of 10 seconds. I always knew AI was the best of all time.
He's the answer.
He is the answer.
Let's get on Richard Sherman.
Wow. He was so good that he covers this whole page.
He does. He's a Stanford guy.
Richard Sherman is known for being a highly skilled and physical cornerback. Renowned. They use this word too much in AI. Renowned.
Renowned.
For his exceptional coverage skills, intelligence, and ability to read plays. Sherman was a key figure in the Seattle Seahawks' Legion of Boom defense. His lengthy frame and aggressive playing style made him a formidable opponent in both man-to-man and zone coverage. Right? Formidable, Jules? For dudes on dudes. I mean, if I say something wrong, correct me. That's what freaking good dudes. That's what friends do, okay? That's what friends do.
I don't know how to read either.
Sherman's leadership, trash talking. He trash talked?
He definitely trash talked. You mad, bro?
And ability to make crucial plays in high-pressure situations contributed.
Made a lot of those.
Yes, he did.
Made a lot of those.
We were just watching his highlight film, man. Woo! Did I forget how good he was?
You
his
forget.
Ball skills. So let me finish.
All right.
Always just cutting me off. To make crucial plays in high-pressure situations contributed to his reputation as one of the top cornerbacks of his era. I agree with AI.
I agree with AI. Richard Sherman, we watched the highlights before we did this, and you forgot how many great plays he made. Because that cast of characters, the Legion of Boom, he was a part of it, and there were so many good guys. But then we watched those highlights. His ball skills, he used to run routes for the receiver because he was so smart. Like, he's situationally one of the most intelligent corners. You could never throw a downfield ball against him. Like, that was like what I always remember. He was a gambler because he'd always have those eyes in the backfield. Like, he was one of those original guys where he'd play off and have his eyes in the backfield, and then he'd break on the guy. Like, Richard, and then he'd always have the hands. Like, he had unbelievable ball skills in order to finish the plays. And, you know, he just was a freaking stud. And he used to hit. What do you think?
I would, if I was a young cornerback, I would give Richard Sherman a call and ask him where he learned those ball skills.
Yeah.
How does he track down a ball like that and make it, you know, and have an interception and make it look easier than a wide receiver?
Well, he was a receiver in Stanford.
Well, that answers my question. All you cornerbacks out there, they need to do more ball drills.
Ball drills.
I say it all the time. There would be literally like 2 or 3 more interceptions per game if these cornerbacks knew how to catch the ball. And Richard Sherman knew how to catch the ball, and that's why he made so many plays, and that's why he led the league in interceptions some years. So what year was that again? He definitely led the league, right?
2013.
Yes.
They won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, they did, and that's part of the reason why they won the Super Bowl. He was a literal genius of the game because he played wide receiver in college. He went to Stanford University, so obviously he's smart.
Smart guy.
You got to be a smart guy to go to Stanford. All my friends that went to Stanford, Pac-10 guy as well. So
Pac-10.
Shout out to the Pac-10.
4.2 GPA in high school.
4.2 GPA. Who is he cheating off? Come on. 4.2. I thought it only goes up to 4.0. How do you get a 4.2?
I think there's advanced classes that count as a 5.0.
Well, makes no sense.
I agree.
I never knew about those ones. Advanced classes?
Wasn't there either, Rob.
That's why we have a podcast.
And that's why.
That is why.
Would you beat him in a math competition?
I would. I'm that good at math. Come on. Give me a math problem right now.
46 times 20.
Oh, my gosh. 920?
Yep.
Oh, Richard
Was it 920?
Yeah, he would still be thinking. Richard Sherman would still be thinking.
He'd be talking shit.
He'd be talking shit where I would have probably been thrown off my game, and then he would have thrown out the answer. Yeah.
That's how smart he is, where he would have talked shit and been able to calculate and multitask and then do it. Like, that's the kind of guy he was. I mean, we played against him in the Super Bowl, and we jawed back and forth. And it's out of fun competition, but you knew, like, when you were stepping in a game with Richard Sherman, you knew if you were going to be lazy or if your route wasn't there, he was going to cover you, and he was going to let you know that he covered you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the fun guys. He was a freaking monster. Like, you watch just the interceptions he made, his high pointing of ball skills, that AFC Championship game where he tipped it from Crabtree in the last 30 seconds or 23 seconds, 32 seconds.
One of the most impressive plays I've ever seen a cornerback make.
In a high-pressure situation when his team needed it.
That was for the game.
That was for the game. That was
to go to the Super Bowl.
That was to go to the Super Bowl. He had a lot of those.
And what made him so great, made him stand out from any other cornerback, was his height and his length.
He was 6'4".
He was kind of like Randy Moss, but as a cornerback.
You know, and he had good hands, like, to combat
great ball skills,
but like to combat the quick guys to get him running side and side because he was so, he's long. That's how you got to get those kind of corners. You got to make him run side to side. He had such long, great arms where he could play at the line of scrimmage. He'd win at the line of scrimmage.
He had football IQ. What about his physicality? Was there a play I remember just watching him? I think Des Bryant broke off for a like a 50-yarder he was about to score, and I'm pretty sure it was Des Bryant.
Yeah.
And he was in back of the end zone, guarding his guy, because, manned him up. That's why the ball went to Des Bryant. They should have had him on Des all game, actually. He came out of back of the end zone off of his guy, and literally Des Bryant was 1 yard away from scoring.
About to go in.
Richard Sherman came out of nowhere and just laid the hit stick and made him fumble right on the 1 yard line. That just showed how physical and how much he just laid his body out on the line for the team.
And also not to quit on a play. Like the play could have been over. Des Bryant could have easily just gone in. And Richard said, technically he won his play. His guy was guarded. His guy didn't catch the ball. But to come off his plaster and to make the hit at the end goal lines, it was like you saw those plays all the time with Richard Sherman. He never gave up on plays. He was smarter than you. He was longer than you, and he could talk better than you.
And he had leadership. Like, he was always vocal, very vocal. But the thing is, he backed it up every single time. He always said he's the best corner in the game, which he was throughout that era. But he backed it up, and that's what
Reeve.
That's what you. Reeve was a little bit before him. He was like right at the end of Revis Island era.
Yeah.
So Revis was in his own category, and then it was Richard Sherman. Two totally different players. Two totally different skill sets. But hey, Jules, you remember when you trolled him?
I
trolled
do.
Sherman, the
I
Shermanator.
do.
Can you explain what happened and why you did it?
The parade after we played him in 14, we won. Someone threw up a sign of like with the face after the interception. And, you're just playing up to the parade, having fun. I fucking threw it. I was hammered. Like, it was all fun and games until someone gets hurt.
But no one got hurt.
And
you were hammered, so that's an excuse. It was a parade. Anything goes. We just beat him in the Super Bowl. And Richard Sherman loves talking crap, but he can take it as well.
I think he can.
I know the guy now personally.
I've talked to him a few times through Carissa Thompson because she does all the Amazon, and he's always been a really cool dude.
He's doing a great job as an analyst.
I think so, too. He's really good.
A lot of insight to the game, especially at the corner position. He's not scared to be himself at all either. Never
has been, and it was throughout his career. And just with a guy like him, like, you had to play hard the whole game. If you turned it off, he would smother you. He'd make that pick.
If he saw Tom just slack a little bit in the pocket, he would be able to read him just like that.
Because he played with his eyes in the backfield. He liked to play off that Seattle 6 where it was like a matched zone, so he could play off and he would see and he would read the quarterbacks and he'd come sloop on those seams and come steal them.
Last piece though, I played with Richard Sherman my final year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Unfortunately, he was at the end of his career. He was a little washed like myself. He showed up. We had like 8 corners down. We gave him a call. He showed up, and I'm so glad he did, man. And I finally, got to meet him in person and talk to him. He pulled his hamstring. I remember I had broken ribs, so we were reminiscing together about facing each other. And what a great guy he was, man. Great leader. Great guy to have in the locker room, that's for sure. He's got tons of positive energy.
He's a guy you love on your team, but you hate him when he's not on your team.
He wasn't even playing. Yep. He went on the IR, and every time I walked in the locker room, I'm like, I love Shermanator is on our team.
Yeah.
That's how great he was, man. He just always chopping it up and always being a character. I love the guy. Whenever I see him too, great dude. 10 minutes.
10 minutes. What kind of dude is Richard Sherman?
What kind of dude? I mean, he was freaky. He was like a Randy Moss. Is he a stud, dog? Whiz.
Is he a whiz?
He's kind of everything, man, because he went to Stanford, so he's a whiz. He was a dog with those hits.
He was
athleticism as well.
Because I think he hits that whiz category because his intellect was second to none. Like, him and Revis are in that same category where they could run routes.
Yeah, he was kind of a dog though too.
He was a dog because he was relentless and motivated, always physically. But he talked to you.
I kind of want to go with Wiz though, just because he went to Stanford.
He went to Stanford. He was clutch. The Wiz is always clutch. The Wiz is someone who innovates. They changed the position. The position used to be a guy that was probably no bigger than 6 foot, 6'1". I mean, those were huge corners back before him. He was 6'4". He evolved the position, especially in that Seattle system. You had him and Browner. They love those tall corners, and he's a huge part of that. Which that's how you take away those big receivers on the outside. You put a big guy like Sherm on them, and they let him battle.
And that's why the Legion of Boom was such a great defense as well. I would say that he was the leader of Legion of Boom
over Chancellor.
Yeah, Yeah, over Chancellor. Chancellor was the guy that laid the smackdown.
He smacked.
He smacked. I think, he was the wizard of the Legion of Boom. Same with Earl Thomas. I mean, he was a rocket, a torpedo.
Torpedo.
He laid the smackdown. He laid the smackdown on me a few times, but Richard Sherman was the wizard. I feel like he got that, secondary in position, and also why he had so many interceptions and why he was such a great corner is because he knew how to play the game of football in zone coverage and man coverage because he was so freaking smart.
He's a whiz.
He is a whiz. He's a whiz kid. Oh my gosh. I didn't wear any of my merch, Jules. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wanted to wear this Buccaneers hat, man.
That's a good hat. That's a good hat too.
See, dudes forget a lot of things, man. That's why we always love to have a bro next to each other to remind each other. And we forgot the picture as well, once again. So get his picture up here. Oh my God.
No, Sherm's on here.
Oh, I thought that was George Kittle still.
Nah.
All right. Sherm's up there. See? Dudes on dudes, man.
I think defenders
just broing out too much and forgetting things.
Don't you think defensive guys with dreads are like, does that not like, that looks like the Predator to me, man. Like they're search and destroy. It never intimidated me. It never intimidated me, but I'm
sure, Jules, it never intimidated you.
I just thought
but you're bringing it up.
But I always thought it looked fucking sick.
It does look sick. He looked good.
Let's get on to our next guy.
He's got some skinny legs. I think that's what made him so athletic.
Fast.
Those people with skinny legs, those corners, they're just so fast, and they never get tired. That's why I always got tired and was like, no, Jules, you run this route. Like, if the ball's going to you, my leg's like way too thick.
He would do that.
And by the way, man,
I would take it
like,
too.
As a bro, as a friend, like, how am I looking?
You're looking jacked, bro.
Like, I worked out this morning for this episode.
Look at that.
Man. I got my.
But you never not look jacked.
I know.
You know how Camille never not dancing?
You're
never not jacking.
Look at that. Look at that, baby. Should I show you a six pack right now?
Let's
I'm feeling
see.
good. I'm feeling good, guys.
Put your dong away.
As a dude, you got to flex.
God.
How am I looking, Jules? Whoa, look at that, baby.
How?
Yeah,
you still got it.
Dude. I'm just being a dude, okay? That's all.
Sit down, you big old dude.
Trying to be like Dola. Dola is ripped, man.
Dola's like playing Patrick Swayze right now on Dancing with the Stars. Let's go vote for him, everyone.
Dola more ripped than you?
Yeah, he's Cutter.
Oh.
He's Cutter.
Oh, you said that.
Let's get on to our next contestant.
Right. Who's our next guy?
Absolute legend. We'll start the clock in 5 seconds after I say who he is. He's just a man's man. Our new teammate, someone that we've all looked up to.
You're right. He's not a dude. He's a man.
You can't call him dude. So this is dudes on man.
Yeah, this is dudes on man.
Howie Long.
Howie Long.
Howie Long.
Howie Long.
What does the Howie Long AI say?
Howie Long has a huge slong. Whoa. What the heck? What the heck? AI. Inappropriate. Howie Long would be like, geez, you guys are just characters. You guys are just characters. Always just,
he always
chopping it up.
He always says, just keep being you, bud.
Yeah. He would love that line.
He would.
Even if he has a small one, he'd be like, thank you. Bro.
Yeah, I don't know if he does.
No,
you don't got a last name.
He's got a hammer.
Yeah, he's got it. He's Howie Long,
that's what
bro.
Dudes talk about. He's a man.
He got a chin that hits you in your face.
He produced 2 huge NFL sons.
Huge.
Like
first round O lineman, first top 10 pick, Chris Long, D lineman, Kyle Long, O lineman. Kyle Long played baseball. It's just a fucking, they have champion sperm.
All right, let me get to AI.
They have champion sperm.
He does have championship sperm. Howie Long was a dominant defensive end in the NFL, known for his powerful pass rushing ability and strong run defense. He played primarily for the Oakland Raiders. Who was his second team? I thought he was an Oakland Raider.
LA Raiders.
LA Raiders?
LA Raiders.
Wait, then that's still the same team.
AI.
That's really weird.
Fucking AI.
Really?
They're not there yet.
2 different cities. He might as well have played for the freaking Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
At this point.
I think he's associated with them. He could still, he looks like he can still play.
He should be the Raiders owner, not Tom. Just kidding, Tom.
Yeah.
We need you as the Raiders owner because then you'll be like really rich and then you can get a yacht and Julian and I can come on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can give us like cushy like scouting jobs for like $1 million a year.
Yeah. We love you, Tom.
Yeah, we love you too.
Howie's not the owner. You're the owner, Tom. We need you, buddy. We hang out with you more. So we need you to be the owner. And maybe if we need a job in the future. That's what dudes and dudes do. If you're a bro, you're like one dude always gives a job to their like bro. Like
that's a triple D. That's called daydreaming duding.
All right.
Daydream.
We're back.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
AI.
Where he earned 8 Pro Bowl selections and was named to the NFL's all-decade team of the 1980s. 80s decade. When I was born in 89, so
86.
Wow. He probably sacked a guy and got our mother's pregnant from such a big hit. That was awful. Awful take.
But knowing Howie, probably not. Howie is a stand-up guy.
Yeah, knowing Howie, you're right. Stand-up guy. Wouldn't. He goes, yeah. Our parents just got so just turned on from his sack. From his sack in the 80s. That's why we were born.
It's a bone-crushing sack.
Yeah. And because my dad's a big fan. Big fan of Howie Long.
What dad is not a fan of Howie Long?
I think our dads got so turned on from Howie Long's hits that we were created. They made us.
It very well could be. This is when Howie was balling.
Long was known for his athleticism, intensity, and versatility, which allowed him to excel both in rushing the passer and defending against the run. His impact on the game and his leadership on and off the field solidified his reputation as one of the premier defensive players of his era.
I mean, we threw on the highlights. He's just nasty. He's like the guy you send in. He's like a bomb squad guy. You know, you send Howie in, but he doesn't wear armor. He just goes in and does it with like his teeth. You know, like you send him in there and he'll do it like some shit that no one wants to do. He'll get the job done. He's so intense. He was like, and you could see it when he played. He so powerful. He knew the game of football. He was a really smart football player. He looked the part of a Raider with the bull ring. He was like one of the original dudes that wore the bull ring. Like that was like hard nose. Any kid in Pop Warner when I was a kid that wore a bull ring was like, that dude eats cement. And that's what fucking Howie, I think I literally saw him at Fox once in between games that you guys were doing. I saw him take a teaspoon of cement when with his coffee. Like that's how manly he is.
This guy, if you're going in a back alley and you're about to brawl, you're about to take on 10 other mother effers.
Yeah.
And you're by yourself and you had to choose one other guy to go in that back alley, you bring Howie Long with you.
100%.
And then guess what? You would just sit back because he would take on all 10 of those guys and fucking whoop all their asses for you.
But then I think afterwards he would sit them down and tell them where they need to work on their fighting skills. And like he would sit there after like, you know, giving them like a rag for the nose that he just broke from some dude. Like he would sit there and he'd be like, yeah, buddy, like, you gotta be smarter than that. You can't go against, you know, while like looking at his surroundings. I remember the first day I met him on Fox. You know, we had a dinner the Friday before, and it's my first show, and I'm a little nervous, and so I had a dip in at the dinner, and I thought no one saw. I had a little baby dip in. 2 days later, we had our first live show, and Howie was in there, and we had a production meeting where we were with the big show, the other show, and all of a sudden, Howie came in, didn't say a word, pulled out a tin, put it right on my thing, put one finger and just slid it to me and give me a head nod and just walked by. That was the first interaction I ever had with him, and it couldn't have been any more Howie Long.
He might be one of the greatest guys I've ever met, and I don't think it's talked about enough, is that he might be the best role model, you know, out there in NFL history. I mean, he's up there. The guy's been through it all. He grew up in Charlestown, Massachusetts.
He's an orphan.
Yes. So, you know,
he's a fucking orphan. He's like the movies.
He's got that, you know, that Boston hardo in him. Like he takes no shit at all. But let me tell you.
Then he goes to Philly at Villanova.
Yeah.
And gets a little that more East Coast assholeness.
All-American man. He has great kids.
Great kids.
They grew up to be first-round NFL players.
Do you remember Chris?
I remember Chris, man. Great guy. Loved him in the locker room.
he's always be holding court in his little section with Ninkovic. Like him and Chris, like him and Ninko would be sitting there. Ninko would just be sitting there like marveling at Chris because Chris was like so paid and had a sleeve and he was a white dude that had swag. Ninko would just do anything. You remember those?
Ninko copied everything Chris Long did.
He was Chris Long's shadow.
Everything.
Because like by that age, you know, Ninko has been like institutionalized by the Patriots where like any outsider, he's like, oh my God, this is what it's like.
If you had a problem or situation in life and you needed an answer, you would hit up Howie Long.
100%.
The guy's been through everything from A through Z in life. Just a great role model overall. Very positive guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to crunch time, he's right there on your side. Has taken me under his wing at Fox. Yeah. His knowledge for the game of football is through the roof. If you have any questions, he's there to give you answers. And then he doesn't care if you give him the credit or not. And
he's fucking great looking too. Look at how jacked he is in that goddamn
Still looks
movie.
the freaking same as he did when he was playing.
I want to say he's got top 3 chins all time. Top 3 chins. Coward's one, Coach Coward, Howie, Brady's got a nice chin, but like this is like Brady's like pretty chin.
I never looked at
this. This is like when you used to draw up like old action heroes in like 1980s and 90s. You know how they were just big grown men with huge chin, like the cartoons.
Yeah, I don't look at chins.
Look at that's just a man.
Yeah, that's a man chin. You're right.
And he had the best flat top ever. He still has it.
What about that neck roll that he played with? Does that neck roll make you more badass? It kind of reminds me of James Devlin. Like he was more badass when he had the neck roll on.
Neck rolls definitely give you 2 points on hard assness.
Mm-hmm.
2 points for sure. Who else do we have? Eric Dickerson had a good chin. The all chin team.
No, not the chin. He had a neck roll. What about Brian Bosworth?
Oh,
what about his neck roll? That was pretty badass.
Crew. Tom Rathman.
What about Mike Allstott?
Fucking gnarly.
Ultimate neck roll. Ultimate player.
What about Kent State Golden Flash Jack Lambert? Ooh, I think he's a bunker guy. I think he's in a bunker.
I don't even know what Kent State is.
No, I've tried to get in contact.
What's Kent State?
They call it, some would call it the Harvard of the Midwest. I don't know if you ever heard of it. But yeah, neck rolls, Howie Long, he's a huge part of that, like old school guy that had neck roll, made you look tough. And he's Hollywood. He's been in movies. Like his story about like he stopped doing movies because it just was too much. He told me that. He's like, yeah, you know, I just needed more time with my family. They kept on sending me scripts. I was like, man, Howie's so cool. He's like, fuck them. Fuck that.
He's a great family man. And that's why I said, if you have any questions about life, you ask Howie Long.
And he
has the right answer every time.
He really does. In any situation. What kind of dude is Howie Long?
Well, he's a loyal dude as well. I mean, he's the first one. He started the Fox gig with Terry Bradshaw and Jimmy Johnson. He's been there for 31 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fox pregame show. And it's just an honor to be a part of it. Just a little ounce of it, just to be with those guys. I mean, it's incredible.
Without a doubt,
what they have done. They transcended post-career after NFL.
100%. They've given an example of how, if you want to get into this industry, how you got to do it. You know, with not just their on-camera chemistry, but the way they freaking prepare. I get to be a fly on the wall watching them in between shows, watching you get ready. And those guys he's just a stud. And exactly what I just said. He's a stud. He's a freak. Yes, he's a freak of nature. He's got the dog in him. He's definitely a dude's dude.
He is a dude's dude.
But when
locker room guy, he's a wizard as well. I mean, this guy literally is all 5 categories, and that's why he's so successful in life.
What do they do with the Kentucky Derby racehorse? What do they do? What do they call
stud him out.
They stud him out.
They stud him out.
That's what fucking Howie Long is. He's a stud. Like when you look at a racehorse,
and it was a proven stud too, because he produced 2 first-rounders.
2 first-rounders. Like when you look at a stud, a horse, Howie's the human version of a racehorse.
AI even knew he had a huge slong. Did you hear me read it at the beginning? Howie Long has a huge slong.
Did it really say that?
Yeah, it really said that.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he literally could probably win the Kentucky Derby.
He could.
Because that's how manly of a man he is.
When you call his son And
Chris.
talk to him on the phone, Chris. What did he say about
Chris
Howie?
said he's a fucking stud.
So he's a stud.
Stud.
No doubt about it. Stamp it. Stud.
Stamp stud.
Stud muffin.
Our first stud.
No.
I don't
Tony
know.
Gonzalez was a stud too.
Was Tony a stud too?
Yeah. Different type of stud.
Different stud.
This was like a badass stud.
Tony's
like a smooth stud. Yeah.
Yeah, but both studs. Before we wrap up the show, in honor of our WWE talk, we're gonna cut our best dudes on dudes promo. We're gonna be full wrestlers for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Maybe 3 minutes. We'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah, dudes on dudes here. You take a look over to the left and you see the ultimate dude. His name is the big, large, grand Gronk. Oh yeah, Gronk. What do you think about the dudes on dudes?
Hey, Julian, hopefully you don't blow a blood vessel, man. It looks like one's about to pop out of your head, buddy. So how about you just calm down a little bit and let me be the ultimate dude. I'm big, I'm bad, I'm the big bad Gronk, and I'm coming for all you other dudes because I'm the ultimate dude. Julian, like I said, calm down before I throw your ass out of the ring, buddy, and throw you into the fans, and they stomp you to death, and they knock the blood right out of that blood vessel that's about to pop, buddy. Your eyes are bloodshot, your nose is about to be bloodshot. I'm about to stomp you. These guys that we just did dudes on dudes, we're the real dudes. I don't care how we exemplified you dudes, what type of grade we gave you guys dudes.
Oh yeah.
We love you dudes, but we're the real dudes, buddy. Subscribe on YouTube for this show.
Oh yeah, that's what I always says. The cream, as the Gronk says, rises to the tippity top.
That's right, the tippity top, and that's where I'm about to go, on top of the ropes and give you a people's elbow. Not on the ring floor, but from top of the ropes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. Coming to a town near you. Subscribe on YouTube.
Or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Well, that's been another episode of Dudes on Dudes Have No Voice. What could we have done better in this episode?
Probably our WWE promos.
I think I just
those
lost
could have
my
been
voice.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
But comment. I mean, tell us. I mean, we're dudes on dudes. We're real dudes. I feel like we can take the criticism. We want to take criticism. You can give us the harshest criticism out. That's what we want. We want to be stronger. As a dude, we want to be the fucking strongest dude. So if criticism is what it will take to become the strongest dudes, we will take that criticism. So comment below. I know Julian's a pussy, all right? So you don't have to comment that already. But I know my muscles are looking good, so you don't have to comment that either. But subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Comment on what dude you want us to do next. Rate and review. What do you want to say? How about you shut the fuck up because no one wants to hear you, Julian?
And that's the bottom line because Rob Gronk says so.
Remember to follow Dudes on Dudes on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat, or wherever else you can hear Dudes on Dudes.
You can give a comment. It doesn't have to be constructive criticism.
Oh, yeah. You can also hype us up. Give us some positive
I like
comments.
hype guys too.
Yeah, me too.
We'll see you guys next week.